Sajanta from class 10C, and it's a pleasure to have you today as our candidate.
It's my pleasure to come.
I'm very eager to like to know something about you.
About my education.
About you.
Okay. My name is Sharda and I have been the student of Carmel Academy in the 11th and 12th standard. And I did my electrical engineering from Maharashtra, and after that I went to Delhi to study for UPSC exam. And in the fourth attempt, very gratefully and very humbly, I cleared the exam. I would like to answer to you in front of you. Please.
I have once come across your the video of your celebrations. That in that you have said that you are going to take one more attempt. What the reason for it?
So I decided to take one more attempt because the rank I am getting is not the sufficient one to get into the top 2 services. So I will be getting the third service in the preference. So I decided to take one more attempt.
So you are going for means IAS.
So I would be probably getting into the revenue service. So right now 2 more attempts are left, so I decided to take it.
No, this is not an easy task to not be satisfied with what you have. You really have to take this number.
So now my question is regarding the UPSC journey, which is also a big part of your life, I guess, right? So we all know that the portion of UPSC is really vast, plus it takes many attempts to clear the exam. So at one point of time, have you ever felt like I'm fed up, I don't want to lose this anymore? So how did you deal with that? How did you make a comeback?
You know, even every single day was the same. I would start in the morning, and by the evening I would say, okay, I am not able to do this, I will not be able to do this, and I am not the right person to enter into the sales services. But you know, quitting is not an option. Nobody who is successful has ever quit, you know? Nobody. And there are always failures. Even Dr. Kalar did not quit. He had so many consecutive failures when rocket was launched and lasted very pathetically. But that is the only point of time when you have to realize that if you quit now, you would end up becoming an average person. And that is not what you want, right? Nobody wants to become an average person. Everybody wants to rise to their potential. And if you have that potential, you should definitely work for it.
Very well said.
Ma'am, how do you manage the social factors like in any preparation for an exam? There are many social factors plus economic factors. So you took the 4 attempts, and first of all you dropped the engineering college too. So how you manage the social stress? Because the Indian society thinks that Sharma ji ka beta is doing this and this job. What you are doing? The first question to you is what career you are in. So how you manage such circumstances?
So when I decided to drop my career in the engineering, there were many questions who would come bombarding to me. Okay, what is the option? Because even Union Public Service Commission is many times said as unpredictable service commission because nobody knows where they are going to enter. And there are attempts. After all, there are many attempts, 6 attempts, 9 attempts, but you know, you do not know where you will be able to clear it or not. But at the end, I decided that I have to do it, and I took the help of my parents to, you know, keep away all the negative things. And she is my mother, you know, and she helped me to keep all the noises blocked because everybody would ask her, okay, what your daughter is doing, and I told her, you go and tell them she is preparing, preparing for the interview or whatever, the basic job in the corporate, but she is not able to get to it, and she is preparing. So she would always say, okay, my daughter is preparing, but that's okay. You do not have to prove to anybody else, you know. It is always said कि कोशिश इतनी शांति से करोगे सफलता शोधन चाहिए, you know. And when you become successful, everybody is like, oh, okay, oh my God, you are doing this. So these are all the social blockades, you know, and you must stand very strong to all these social things. And talking about the economic factors, you know, that is very important. Your parents, they need to support you economically. But at the same time, if they are supporting you economically, you should be very truthful to them, you know. You should not waste their money which they are putting in with a very hard earned efforts. So if you are very dedicated, I definitely think face socio-economic challenges are one of the things, but not the only thing which will stop you.
We are so fortunate to have such a family, and the family is so fortunate to have such doctors.
I'm so grateful.
Moon, what was your approach to tackling the various stages such as the prelims, mains, and
So the first thing is the study is not done in compartments. Prelims and mains is done together. The syllabus is same, only the approach is different. First you get to all the syllabus, whatever is there, many different subjects are there. And after going to the syllabus, after you are very well versed into foundation, you would realize that the prelims is very objective. You need to know some of the facts, you need to choose from 4 options. Whereas the main subject or the mains exam, it is very subjective. You have to write answers. But the content is going to remain same. Is the content going to change? Every and one and for prelims there would be something different, and in mains there would be something different. No, preamble is going to remain same. You just have to change your approach. How you have to approach things in prelims, how you have to approach things in mains.
What do you think that appropriate time for start prepare for this?
See, I don't think anybody can answer that this is the appropriate time, but foundation starts from the school. You are in 10th standard, you are in 9th, 10th, 12th. These are all the deciding years of your life. You will be deciding the career, you will be deciding the opportunities which you want to see in your life. So, make one thing very clear that whatever you are studying, you do not get into rote learning. You try to be curious, you try to answer or question, even you should be able to question things. Okay, why is it like this? You should not accept whatever is being taught to you, whatever is being thrown at you. You should be curious, you should be questionable, and if at all you are asking questions, then that should be with the justification that, okay, now I have got the answer, now I am satisfied.
It means still in holidays I go through the DW side and go through the video of modern history videos. So is it right?
I would rather suggest you don't put unnecessary extra pressure on yourself. Right now you are in very tender age. You enjoy your school life. Just make one thing very sure. Whatever you are reading, you are very thorough with it. You get whatever is taught to you, and eventually when you get into your profession, when you go and decide you want to pursue BSc, eventually this will come back. This will be very helpful. Okay, you were very good in your 10th standard. You still remember many things. That will be very helpful.
Ma'am, as you said in our seminar that you were one kind of book lover. So you didn't get time to develop your social activities or curricular activities. So what was that one activity which you regret not having with you during your basic journey or while giving the interview?
So I was like a couch potato, not willing to move any body part. So I regret that I was not good in sports. But everything is required. When your mind works too much, your body should also work to relax the mind. And that physical activity is like complementary to the mental development. So that is one of the regrets.
Okay. Let's dive into the entertainment sector. The recent welfare union. How you see that? How you see that perspective as you are the next future officer? So what's what can be there, or how you take his or her life into you?
So I could relate to that movie because even the person who cleared in the fourth attempt, I also become the person who cleared in
That's
the
why
fourth
I asked
attempt.
you that.
So I could relate, but the story of the person, the sir, Manoj Sharma sir, whose story is being, depicted in the 12th film, was a very difficult journey. Socially, economically, he was not so fortunate enough as we all are. We are very fortunate that we studied in a good school. We had a very prosperous family background. But at the end, nothing matters. Only your dedication, your will, that your passion. You want to follow your passion. Rest all will fall in place.
What about Sharda?
That is, I would say, I am Sharda. I want to search Manoj now. So that is very subjective. That's a part of joke.
Jokes apart.
what do you consider to be the most important lesson you learned while preparing for the examination?
So there are many lessons, I just could not jot down one, two, three because my journey has been very long. But one thing I remember that you need to take your failures in a positive way. If you don't take it up in a positive way, you will end up destroying the next coming opportunities. Because in the third attempt, I could not clear mains, which is the second stage. And after the results were out, I had very less time to prepare for prelims again for my fourth attempt. So I took nearly 1 month. I was very depressed. I reached half stage and now again I am back to square one. So that was the time when I realized that if I would continue the same thing, I would end up very pathetically. I would not be able to clear it and I would waste one more attempt. So at that point of time, one of my friends and many of my teachers, they suggested me, Sharda, now you are halfway. Only half the journey is left. Now put in all your efforts, all your best things or best possible characteristics you have, your strength, just channelize it. And my mother would always say, "जी जान लगा दे बेटा बस एक बार." So that stayed with me.
In your interview, same interview, you have said that most of people know what to study, but they don't know what not to study. So can you suggest?
So you saw my interview. Okay. So that thing I overemphasize because it is many a times said that everything under the sun is the syllabus. For UPSC is a very vast syllabus. But not everything under the sun is syllabus. It is not an haphazard exam that they are asking anything. There is a confined pattern. Just you need to be very selective in knowing the things that what you do not have to study. Like take an example of a newspaper. If a newspaper comes, we just end up in giggling and wondering whatever is happening in the cinema, in the Bollywood. That is, UPSC is not going to ask you. They are going to ask you the opinion-based questions, the international affairs, Israel and Iran, they are at war, Ukraine and Russia are at war, what are the states of India. So you need to be very precise and concise to what you have to do and what all you have to do. So that is the thing, and if you get this thing in mind, somebody is guiding you, somebody is helping you, then you are in the very right path.
Traveling to the previous life, you were an electrical engineer. So, and then you realized drastically that no, that's not a career for me. Then you switched to being an administrator, preparing the UPSC exam. So what losses you gained, because you lost many years. So what were the losses that you gained? Because the turn is drastic now. And you might have been like, I have wasted so much money on my family. And so how did you overcome that guilt to ma'am?
When initially 2 attempts I could not clear prelims, so I had that thought in my mind that I am wasting my father's money, very hard earned money. And living in a metropolitan city like Delhi is not an easy job. You need to spend 30,000, 35,000. So, but one thing was very clear, I was even satisfied to the fullest. I was not wasting time. I was trying to read, I was trying to learn, I was trying to get into the UPSC syllabus. So that one thing was a kind of stick which guarded me, or yardstick which would say, Sharda, you are on the right track no matter how much money now you are putting in. If you become successful, when we would look back, so that would be a very easy. Now, right now I'm sitting here and when I look back the 4 years of journey, it is like nothing was very difficult. At that time it was like, oh my god, this is the worst thing happening to me and I am only the worst survivor or the worst victim. But the satisfaction, the achievement, it clears everything. It clears every
Fortune to your family, ma'am. Seriously, you're really a survivor, because taking that turn is not easy. Really, ma'am, it's not easy. And you have taken such an, powerful step to overcome it. This is really a big step, ma'am. Hats off to you, ma'am.
My next question is how you manage the exam stress, because every aspirant that I can see and I can relate it to myself. I can do it or not. And in that stumble, we didn't attain the questions we know or we like to do it. So how you deal with that situation?
So in the exam, you you are posed with 20 questions. And make one thing very sure, you are not so super talented that you know answer to each and every question. You would know answer to 5-6 questions very well. So as the other person who is writing the mails next to me. And this is a relative exam, you know, you do not have to stand exceptionally well, you have to perform subjectively with the other aspirants. So even everybody knows or writes good answer to 5-6 questions, average to 10 questions, and very pathetic to 3-4 questions. Because UPSC always gives you a bouncer, and you should not try to hit the 6-4 bouncer. Some balls are meant to be left, you know, and that one thing you should cultivate. That make one thing very clear that there would always be some unavoidable circumstances in life to which you would not have any answers. You just have to stay calm, composed, take a look and try to get into the question what actually is the matter, what actually the circumstances. And eventually some or the other way the door will open and you get through your own businesses.
Ma'am, despite your busy schedule, how do you manage to be up to date with the current affairs?
So see, current affairs is a part of UPSC. It is equally focusing now since last 1 decade on static as well as the current affairs. But current affairs, it is not like you go through each and every newspaper, you read or you attend each and every channel ka seminar. But you know, basic stories, basic news would be same. Each and every newspaper would be covering the Iran, Israel, they are at war, Russia, Ukraine at war. That is the basic thing. You just need to be very well versed in why they are at war, what is the reason, what is the impact, what are close to India, what are cons to India, how India is going to react. Because we are going to get into Indian administrative service, we do not have to get into Pakistani administrative service or Israeli administrative service. So we need to think according to Indian perspective, right? So just stick to only one current affair, and that would be marvelous.
Can you suggest some study material or references that will be
See, the basic syllabus has basic book reference. Everybody follows the same. See, for quality it is Lakshmi-Kanto. You might not be knowing right now, but even the toppers, they have put in their list on social media and Google. So Lakshmi-Kanto is for quality, and for history it is modern history, the spectrum is there. And for current affairs, you follow any one of the newspaper of your choice, the Indian Express. These two are very good papers, and right now one more is the main focuses mostly on the economic affairs. And apart from that, the basic things like environment, geography, art and culture, very confined books are there. Each and every institution they are printing their books. You stick to one. You subscribe to any one of them. You religiously follow it, and that would be very easy.
And one of the civil servant means Gaurav also. He says that there is not more profit to the engineers. So do you see any profit to be doing in
So, I would humbly disagree with what Sir said, because you know, if you are exceptionally good, there would always be opportunities for you. And it is not like today engineers they do not have any opportunity, they do not have any options. But yes, right now there are so many graduates from the engineering background. The competition has become very tough. So only the best survives, and the rest they are ending up being average. So the new opportunities are opening up in civil services, and now many graduates from engineering background they are getting into civil services.
According to many UPSC aspirants, they stated that due to not having improper strategy, they are not able to clear the UPSC exam. So what was your strategy, and what advice would you like to give to the other UPSC aspirants that how should they do it?
See, when people say that their strategy did not work, that is very true, because in the first 2 attempts I did not clear prelims, and that was because I could not stick to a particular syllabus in a particular discipline manner. And that's why every now and then in the seminar which Sir held, I emphasize that discipline is very important in life. Whatever you are doing, if you are not religiously following it for a long time, perseverance is not there, you would end up being very pathetic. Because if I study for 8 hours today
small short of time. So how did you manage that thing?
I would just correct it. Yeah, after prelims, I had time for this, and I initially had prepared for mains only. So I had that much amount of content. Yeah, I have to write XYZ things. But the thing which I had in my third attempt was that I would not structure my content properly. So even structuring is also very important because examiner is going to judge you by the question paper or the answer sheet which is in front of you. And you are not going to stand in front of him to explain this, sir, I wanted to write this, but sorry, I wrote this, and you please don't judge me. They are going to judge you by the answers you have written. And if the content is not properly structured, if it is very haphazard, you are writing one thing here, the other thing is on the next page, the examiner is going to get frustrated. He has to check 20 copies a day. Just imagine a 65-year-old person is very bored to check 20 copies a day. He could just end up giving you an average mark. And marks are very deciding factors. Each and every mark decides your rank. Each and every mark decides if you are in the list or you are out of the list. So you need to focus on each and everything, but at the same time, just make sure how much time is being allocated to you. Because in the prelims and the mains, only 3 months gap is there. So within 3 months, you cannot do everything. So you need to prepare it in the initially only you have to be very well versed. After, as soon as I clear prelims, I would just rush into the game and I would clear this.
If you keep any kind of behind the exam, maybe a failed or pass, right?
Yes, of course, because technically human mind cannot come over from regrets. Grades would remain with us. They are part of life. You cannot neglect it, but you can reduce it. Because too much of guilt, too much of past in the mind, it is not of any good. Because past is a history. You cannot go back and change it. And coming tomorrow is a mystery. You do not know what is going to come tomorrow. Whatever is in your hands today, that is the present. You do it. You live in the moment. You give your best. Rest, everything is with God.
Your life journey is full of experiences and exploration for especially our teenagers. So I would like to ask one question that there was any special mentor, like they could be from our region, Carmel campus also, who was like, no Sharda, you can do it, you have to do it. Follow your passion and just go on.
Actually, I was in the Carmel Academy for 11 and 12, so I had only very confined group of teachers. Like I remember, Sandeep sir was a continuous source of motivation for me. I was a very shy student then, and I would easily get demotivated by the criticism. The people are doing very good. She is the topper. You cannot do. And Sandeep sir was like, "Hey, Sharda, you work on your strengths. You can do good in these things. So you work there." Then I remember Reena ma'am was very optimistic. She was, I've never seen an intention. She was always happy, always motivating me, and you can do it. And also the non-administrative staff was like, Varsha, I was there. I would always see the happy face when I would enter the school. So, some point or the other, some of the other person was very motivating.
Do you have any example now?
This is very kind.
And what was the one common error you feel you made by giving the last 3 years and how did you prepare?
See, the error was which I read. Okay, some things were lacking. I had some less knowledge in some of the subjects. It's, I had to pay. I had to pay that. I was in the corridor. And apart from that, you must motivate yourself from within. So motivation cannot come from percentage. You have to stay positive, you have to stay motivated, and only you can do it. And for that, if you are not able to do it, you need good friends who will help you, who will support you. And I was very fortunate to have very good friends in my life. And still now they cherish, they were more happy than me when I got selected. And same with my parents and my relatives. They were, hey, you can see everybody is sitting here. So, yes, they all are happy faces, and at the same time, the schools, the teachers who have been part of my journey are happy. So I'm very grateful.
experience they will get. Can you share?
So, interview, personality test is a test of a real human being. They want to see a real person interacting with the panel, who is going to face the public, who is going to represent the government and who is going to implement the policies at the government. So, you cannot manufacture your thoughts in front of them because as soon as they see you entering, they would make you very calm, very composed. They would offer you tea, coffee, chai. Then you पानी चाहिए, ठीक से you are comfortable, shall we start? So it is very cordial, They just want to interact with the person. They just want to know the thoughts of the issues. Okay, this and this issue is posed to you. How would you react? How would if people are angry on you, how would you react? Would you use force or would you go for creating a consent to people or to the society? So this is the thing same is the experience of each and every person who appears in the interview because they want to interact with people who are going to lead for next 35 years in nation. And if you are going to lead the nation for next 35 years, you should be very optimistic towards the government policies because you want to create a good future.
Is that interview qualifying or you have to get a good marks?
Interview is not a qualified interview. It decides your line. It decides where you enter or at all if you are in the game or not. It is of 250 marks and your average till now which I heard, I may be wrong also, average they give 110, 120 every candidate unless and until you yourself create something ruckus or you try to fake something towards them, they will catch you because they have the experience of 30 years. There are 5 people, so combined experience is nearly 300 years. So if 5 people are there with 35 years of experience and you are just 26-year-old, so they are definitely going to catch you in one words. If you are not a real person, you are trying to fool them. So that is it.
If you got a good marks in all exam but you failed in interview, then it will be counted.
So no, see, interview fail होना ऐसा नहीं होता. It is not like this. The total marks are counted, like for mains, XYZ is the limit. You need to get to the limit. Then you will get an interview call. But interview call, interview में there is no limit. You compulsory have to score this much. Combined marks are there, and after the combined marks are released, your rank or your if you are in the list or not is decided.
English speaking or any other language you can perfect or
Yes, of course. There you have to choose the medium of your communication, English or Hindi or any other vernacular language. If any vernacular language is there, then the interpreter is standing next to you, and he would interpret the word and the answer, and he would interpret same questions of the interview also. But if I have chosen English as my medium of interview and I am suddenly switching to Hindi, then of course it is going to create a very bad impression. Okay? We asked you, you voluntarily said you want to talk in English, now you want to talk in Hindi. So this is not correct. You are not speaking to your words.
Excuse me. As the school has been released and I think they all need to commute by auto or by parents. So I would request you all to just wind up by asking just last one question so that you all can move to home.
Yeah, so ma'am, as you have said that in the intro we prepared very tricky and like twisted questions. Like in one of the interviews I saw one aspirant was asked to who's a doctor. So how do you balance your confidence in front of the interviewers now?
Only one thing is there. You need to be very calm and composed. You just go with the mindset that there will be many questions to which you would not be having any answer, and they would, make a trap. Okay, they would put more stress on you just to see how you react. Because when you go into administration, you would address 200 people together, and when people suddenly become very ferocious and very angry, how do you manage them? So it is just a taste or a trap to see how good administrator you are. You just need to be very calm and composed and say, sorry, sir, I don't know, and even though I know the answer, I will.
Like
choice. It is not imposed on you, or it is not because somebody else is doing that I also want to do. It should come from within you. And if you are very passionate about it, just it is a very good career. Go for it. Have a very good syllabus understanding. Then prepare for it well. And if you need any guidance, take it, and you will really succeed. Thank you.
Pleasure to have a beautiful brain like you in front of us. Thank you so much for your time.
Only one like incarnation of Sharda.
Oh, that's too big.
I just hope you should shine, just shine like this.
Thank you. All
After
the way.
becoming IAS, will you come back?
Yeah, sure.
Because we want to meet you once.
This is my institution. I am ready to come back.
Because we want to
Yeah, sure.
once.
Yeah,
You will
we
miss me.
really wish we should.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.